Last year, when the Tomb Raider tabletop RPG Shadows of Truth was announced, a lot of gamers were furious because activists were sinking their claws deeper into Lara Croft in this story that we all know and love. And unfortunately for these people, they have lost out on this deal because we now know that it has been canceled due to creative differences with Crystal Dynamics. And gamers are so happy to hear this, basically screaming on social media, holla frickin' Luya. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, the idea of a really good Tomb Raider TTRPG sounds fantastic. I love Lara Croft, I love Tomb Raider. I would love to see more amazing products with her face slapped on them, but unfortunately, we found out very quickly that this was going to be riddled with current day political agendas because there were a lot of activists working on this, a lot of people who went into it not with Lara Croft's mindset first, not with worrying about what fans wanted first, but with what can we change. And sure, part of that is on Crystal Dynamics for allowing this to even go into production, for even bringing a team on to do this and signing contracts, but now we know that it is canceled following creative differences. But from the beginning, we all had a very bad feeling about it. Of course, I've talked about this a couple of times on the channel now, but when we first heard about it back in April 2024, the TTRPG guidebook had confirmed that Crystal Dynamics was working to apologize for the franchise's colonialist origins because they were saying, oh, well, if you raid tombs, you're a terrible person and you're stealing other groups' cultural heritage. You are trying to actively work against these cultures. Basically, we saw a wave of attacks on characters like Indiana Jones and Lara Croft, and we do still see that happening today. But because companies like Crystal Dynamics are more than willing to bend the knee and they are more than willing to change certain products, these people feel like they can win. These people feel like, yeah, you know what, it's actually good because these companies are willing to create products that, yeah, ultimately apologize for the content that they've made in the past, which I think is absurd. If you are so offended by Lara Croft and her story and the concept of tomb raiding, stop profiting off of it. Stop making Tomb Raider content. Make a different character. But they never do because they know that Lara makes a heck of a lot of money. And now we're finding out that, well, this has been scrapped after the activist designers alienated their core fan base. I did talk about this in another video. It will be linked down below, but just to go over it very, very quickly, Crystal Dynamics announced that they would be ending the collaboration over creative differences, which is clearly because the Tomb Raider fan base didn't take well to the woke activism skin suit of the Tomb Raider franchise, but the story has a deeper element. An insider close to the company spoke exclusively with Fandom Pulse, saying that there was a free-to-play Tomb Raider tabletop RPG already developed, done internally at Crystal Dynamics by a now former employee. And of course, a company of this size always has multiple projects in the works. They have multiple video games, tabletop RPGs, books, things like that in the works, so they have a lineup of products to release over the course of several years. So it's not surprising that they have multiple products that were being made that were similar, but I do genuinely think that given the massive backlash that surrounded this product last year, they decided, you know what, we're just not even going to release it because people were so upset. And sure, this could be a really positive thing. Maybe Crystal Dynamics is truly saying to themselves, we need to start catering to our fan base again, the people who we know for certain will show up and buy our products and support our stories. But on the flip side, I just still do not trust them after years and years of desecrating Lara Croft's legacy. One good move is not going to outweigh all of the negative ones. We know that there is an Amazon TV show in the works. We do know that Phoebe Waller-Bridge is at the helm of that. We don't know exactly who is going to be cast as Lara Croft. It sounds at this point like it's going to be Sophie Turner, which a lot of people have a lot of different opinions on. I don't think that she looks like Lara at all whatsoever. She is a beautiful woman, though. She is a pretty good actress, though. She definitely would not be my and many other people's first choice, but we do know that Phoebe Waller-Bridge really only writes comedy, and she really only writes content that has some sort of spin on the modern day, some sort of narrative has to be behind her work, and that makes me really worried. I was not a fan of her when she worked on The Dial of Destiny. So she's going from one franchise that's deemed controversial to another. I wonder how they're going to modernize Lara Croft. Maybe that will come out and it'll be good, but it's been in the works for 5 years. She's gotten over $100 million and there's still not a script, which is just a massive, massive red flag. But now, of course, that we are finding out that this TTRPG is canceled and really the activists have lost, gamers are roasting them and saying, yeah, you shouldn't have listened to these people, that this is the content that your audience wanted, and you should have listened to us from the get-go. So there are a ton of different posts that I wanted to go through because I think that they're hilarious. Mad Scribe said, "You don't say," to the news that the tabletop RPG Tomb Raider Shadows of Truth has been canceled. There are tons of people saying, yeah, haha, we literally all knew that this was going to happen, but you still love to see it. I used to endorse Evil Hat, even writing a book using their Fate game system, till they went off the deep end. Was it too gay or not gay enough? Larry Croft and the Redistribution of Wealth was probably a bad title. Can't imagine what those differences were. It is honestly a little shocking given Crystal Dynamics is a company that has definitely tried to kind of rework Lara Croft's image over the past couple of years. Maybe they truly are finally taking a step back and going, you know what, we can't work with these activists anymore. But either way, I'm just happy to see that this isn't being created anymore. And that does suck because I want everything to come out and be amazing and for an audience to enjoy the content, but we knew that nobody was going to play this. We knew that nobody was going to buy this. And really all it did was cause a divide between the Lara Croft fan base, which is just so sad to see. Maybe Crystal Dynamics finally grew a pair. I cannot imagine anyone licensing their IP to Evil Hat. You may as well just announce to the world you don't give a shit about your characters or world anymore. I'm surprised they didn't give her vitiligo. Wow, you don't say. People saying, I wonder what went wrong, and then pointing and laughing. Headed over to Scratch Points, he said the Tomb Raider tabletop has been canceled due to creative differences between the high-quality character designs, sensitivity consultants, and prolific writers. It's just so difficult to imagine what could have possibly gone wrong here. Womp, womp, womp. Evil Hat banned me for criticizing their female character in a wheelchair on a submarine in their third-party supplement, Deep Dark Blue. No wheelchairs exist on extensively cross-braced, cramped submarines, but representation, guys. Clearly, people want to have fun with the game, not be lectured or have struggle sessions on social issues, and this is true. Sometimes, yes, you can have a product that is supposed to have commentary, right? Modern day political commentary, but that is not what you expect from Tomb Raider. That is not what you expect from Dragon Age of Aelgard. That's not what you expect from Anno 9 Awakening or Forspoken. That's not what you expect from Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Like, we don't give a fuck about fighting the patriarchy. We do not care about redistributing wealth. We do not care about trying to consume this type of content when we are playing a video game, and it should not be deemed a bad thing that we just want our entertainment to stay entertainment. Video games are a form of escapism, and most people just want to have a fun time when they're playing video games, not be beaten over the head with a certain narrative. And of course, the Crystal Dynamics and Tomb Raider shills are out and about because the Infinity Tomb Raider account, which is a fan account, has hidden a bunch of replies. Most of them are not even that bad. Everything woke turns to shit. Now arrest them for treason. Get woke, go broke. It seems like they kind of gave up on silencing people because they realized that the reception to this was overwhelmingly negative. Good, we don't need Evil Hat ruining the game. Yay! Good riddance. Thank you, sweet Jesus. Thank God. Good to know. Thanks for the good news. Thank God. So happy to see this. I'm actually happy about this. Let's focus on important things. So yeah, they are getting absolutely raked across the coals right now. I'm happy to see that these activists could not damage Lara Croft's image anymore. Most of them, the people that are affiliated with this project are not active on social media. They either have protected or just straight up deleted X accounts. They have not made posts on Blue Sky in months. So I'm curious to see if they will have some big social media return to put out like an expose on everything that went wrong and how bad Crystal Dynamics is. But as of right now, gamers are not shedding a tear for the death of this game. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.